Hi, good morning. It's Monday and we're live. Today I wanted to create a special session talking about the SEO for hospitality and the travel sector. Because, well, for two reasons. One is that this is one niche industry, one sector which is particularly dear to me. Because, as you might know, I come from Italy, I'm from Tuscany, and it is a place in which, as you know, tourism was intense. And one of the main sources, one of the main engines of the economy. And as an SEO specialist, I had so many opportunities to work with business owners in that niche. So I've been developing quite an experience in helping business owners of the travel and hospitality industry. Also speaking English, German, Spanish, Italian. My previous background was in foreign languages. So this has helped me getting to understand which are the struggles of the sector from from an hospitality point of view and then from an SEO point of view. So today I would like to provide some ideas, some tips which you might find interesting to keep in mind. Well, most of this are local business tips. So even if your business niche is not exactly in the hospitality or in the travel, but you might find some inspiration even if you have a local business. Some of those things still relate. Well, what we have to consider first of all is that the hospitality and the travel niche is extremely crowded and competitive. But there is a reason if this happens, and it is that, well, organic search is the first source of acquisition for bookings. When it comes to travelers, their first way to meet a brand that they want to book with is from organic search. So it is so very important to be able to be found. But something has changed over the years because the way travelers search for prospective location now has become always more and more refined. I mean, they do not search for a hotel near that location so generally. But they tend to add some more information. They ask for more specific queries, like pet-friendly hotel or fun hotels with kids, and Google has picked up, as they always do. You will notice that the services and the things that you see on Google they change according to the number of views their users do. So, for example, the tab of images only appears on Google search in those kind of industries in which there might be an interest for checking images. So it would definitely appear when it's about searching for a hotel. And this is very significant. It does appear, for example, when it is about design. It does appear when it is about products. it does not appear when it is about more educational resources. And the same, for example, with the shopping tab. It does only appear when it can be related to a buy, I want to buy micro moment, as they define it. And they refine the way they show information according to what people want to look for. And this happens even with this kind of information. So now they show filters together with prices, ratings, in which you can select the kind of amenities already in the local pack. Now, what is the local pack? The local pack is the information which you see on Google connected with your business. It is your Google business location. And it is extremely important for you to be on top of this. So a big part of this session today will be on this, because it is definitely something that you cannot neglect. One of the things that have been asked me recently is which are the most frequently used keywords that people search for when it's about hotels and hospitality. And well, one of the most frequently searched amenities is the pet friendly. So to answer this question, which I was asked, well, this can be significant for you to keep in mind. If you own a kind of hospitality business which does accept pets, show it in a prominent position, because it could make the difference between getting the attention and the prospective booking of some new client or not. So don't just hide the information or bury it in the middle of thousands of other information on the page. Just place it in a very prominent position so that people can see the most important amenities they might want to ask for. There are more, and we can discover which they are making some keyword search. And this is something that I suggest you can try on your own with some free tools. You can check on Google search results when at the bottom you see people also search for, or you can try using Answer the Public using your location. So hotel or apartment, villa in this location, and you try to see which other frequently searched keywords appear. It will not be a very precise result if it's a free version, but it can be a start. And if you want something more professional, something more defined, I'm happy to help. So once you discover which kind of information people want always to check for when it is about booking something where you own your property, for example, they might want a luxury accommodation with swimming pool. So this is something that you need to keep in a very prominent position on your page. Then once you've discovered this, you can tailor your content to your specific audience to make sure that this specific top keywords appear amazingly well and prominent on your content. Now, with all the search traffic, how is your business showing up? Can they find you? If you try Googling your own location, is it easy to find you, or which other competitors appear? This part of competitors research is extremely important, and it is something which I do recommend to keep doing over time, even to see which changes appear on the search engine results pages. Which are your strongest competitors? What are their strongest points? How can you take inspiration? How are you similar, or how can you try and do better in what? Particularly considering which is your unique selling proposal. So we are talking about giving people what they search for, but in a unique way, can just be yours, because no other business can be like you. And what is your first question is always a why. Why should people book your accommodation instead of those others? And let them know very clearly which are the reasons which make it your possible holiday experience so unique, so different than any other. If you see that you're not showing up, well, it's not just you, it is something which you get as an information that you need to be working on a little bit of search engine optimization, especially in particular niches, in particular locations in which the competition is very strong. Unless you do something, people just can't find you. So it might sound obvious, but try and put yourself into a prospective buyer's shoes and try to think if they could find you, if they could find your site, if they could easily find how to book things, if it's easy to finalize a booking process or to get some easy information. This kind of testing should possibly be done not by yourself, but by somebody who does not know very well about your site and who's not very, very technology friendly. So somebody who's not a real tech savvy grandma or some people who just use the computer, but not extremely in a very, very professional way. So in those cases, you could ask them a favor and try to simulate a booking on your site, 5 minutes, not more. You sit really next to them and you watch how they do. You see in which points they struggle, you see in which points they can process, and this kind of testing will let you discover things you would probably not have imagined. So they might struggle to find a button, they might struggle to understand how to get to book, how to get to change the number of the guests, to change the type of room. So you really need to see how it is like when they try to book your place, if they find it, and how easy it is. If they don't find you, well, there are some things that you can do. And now we are focusing basically on local search ranking factors, because especially when it is in the hospitality business, the local SEO is extremely important because the localization is something which is always present in the search queries. Well, the most important thing that you should never neglect is to have your Google local business and fill each and every detailed information of your local business. Make sure that the users can easily find you. So don't save time. Just spend as much time as you can in filling all of the information, all of the fields in the Google local business. But one thing that people never know and never consider, and it's so important, is that the inaccuracy of the local business citations to through different sources. It is called the local search ecosystem because there is a plenty of this kind of local search portals and directories like TripAdvisor or Yelp. There is really a lot. And it is unexpectedly scary how many cases of inaccuracy are there. It happens often when you make some changes to your business. You change your business name, you change your branding a little bit, you change some images, you might change the logo. Well, address and phone number are hardly to be changed, but many things might change, many images. Maybe you built a new feature which was completely different on different images. And once again, if you try to put yourself into your prospective client's shoes, would you really trust to book a property which has changed? And you are not sure if, for example, we are referring about the same property if it has two different logos, or if one's got a bigger pool and the other just has a temporary pool, or if, for example, some important business information have changed, like the kind of meals or the type of rooms. If it's changed, if you know that something has changed, or even if you don't know, just spend a bit of time checking the accuracy of information throughout all the possible business citations. Particularly when you go through a branding review, this kind of inaccuracies can scale extremely quick. And customers lose trust in businesses if they find inaccurate information across the web. We would do the same. We do the same if it happens. So that's one of the first ways to measure how to behave. Another thing that we do as travelers, so it's just impossible that it can happen otherwise, is how important it is to have a good quality and quantity of online reviews. And not just this, I've been talking recently about this with another business owner. It's not just the quality and quantity of the reviews themselves, but the kind of response that you give to them. Because it can happen, it does happen, unfortunately, that some reviews which are not particularly flattering can appear. And it might not be your fault. Sometimes it happens for bad business reasons. There are cases of fake reviews written by competitors, or misunderstandings happen with guests. There are guests who are particularly interested in getting refunds, so they complain for getting a refund. This all happens in the hospitality business, and we know we have to deal with claims sometimes. But you need to consider that reviews are your first, one of your first strategies for business acquisition and retention, because your customer service speaks a lot about how you deal with your clients and the way you offer them assistance, the way you answer to anything they might have written, your personal approach, your tone of voice, the time that you spend dealing with them, coping with the kind of issues they might have. It speaks volumes about how you deal with them. So, and people do check it. And sometimes if the reviews are only just astonishingly, incredibly good, they might be not so sure if it's all true. So even if in some case there are a couple of reviews which might have, things might have worked better, well, people will read particularly your answer in those situations because they might imagine, what if it happens to me? How will they react in my case? Hi, Nick. In all those cases, it is so important for you to show how you would react and to not get too disappointed in case there is a couple of reviews which are not as you would have wished for. It is important for you to show that your customer service is really, really helpful and ready to get them the best kind of solution for the problem they had. So to listen to their problems, to show that you thank them for sharing their views with you, that you want to grow, that you want to improve your services, that you welcome the feedback. Don't take it personal. Don't take it as if they are undervaluing something you spend so much time on. I know that you always try to do your best, but sometimes people might have a different view for many reasons. And in the end, if they contact you, if they comment, if they share something with you, it means that they are keeping an open channel with you. So it might be, and in some cases it is, a way of winning back a client, just the way you answer to their kind of reviews. Again, some of the things that you could do for your local business visibility, well, this is something that you should ask for your web developers, but don't forget to ask them to add to your website all the rich snippets of shima.org, because there are some which are really made for the hospitality business. Hotel snippets and price, reviews, breadcrumbs, a lot of information which must be embedded in your website. So this is just something that you should remind your web developers, your web designers, to make sure it is there. Shima.org has got some very good solutions for the hospitality businesses. Another thing that you could check, and sometimes it surprises business owners, and because they don't know about this, it is that in your Google local business, there is a heat map which shows which locations your prospective customers come from. Sometimes it is interesting because you can see that they come from very specific locations, and that is one thing that you should consider, because if most of your clients come from one or two specific regions, then it could be very important to create some content which is targeted to them, to create some blog posts in which you explain how the best routes to come to your place from those locations, and to target people from those locations, to let them know how it could be possible to reach you on strike days or particular kind of situations. It is a way of acknowledging something that happens if you get aware of it, first of all. Also, you could see, for example, that some people would like to book close to somewhere else. And this happens sometimes when it's a matter of seasonality, because your location might be the best choice when another location is fully booked. Like, for example, in case of big conventions or very big events, then also in those cases, it is very important for you to produce content which talks to this kind of audience. To give information about shuttle services, alternate forms of transportation, something more about the event, just to target this kind of audience again. Consider that creating this kind of content is so important, not just because you can find these users when they are looking for information about something else, so they might find you as well, but also because you find them in a different micro moment. They are not in the I want to buy, I want to book already. They might be in I want to know, so they might be still more in a dreamy phase in which they are thinking, I would like to have this kind of holiday. I would like so much to see the city. Which kind of hotels exist there? Which kind of hospitality? What is the offer of the hospitality there? How could I spend easy days with my family, with my kids, with my pet, with my partner? So if you let them get more about the location, these popular locations that you might have around, of this sightseeing attractions, you might find new prospective customers which are not ready to book yet, but they might at least discover your brand. So it is finding them earlier in the customer acquisition funnel. They're earlier stages, so it's not a moment in which they're ready to book yet, but at least you get some brand awareness in those early stages of their search. And in these early stages of their search, images are extremely important because in this dreaming phase, people want to see, they want to imagine. And this is one of the moments in which having astonishing, amazing images does pay off. So make sure that you are showing images of the amenities that people really want to see when it is about your business. Make sure that you display those things that they generally ask you about, like, do you even have this? Can I even have my breakfast on the terrace? Can I even have my meals around the pool? Can I use this facility? How can I access this? How does this work? The things they ask you more, show them in pictures and in very good pictures which might make the difference whether to buy or not, because we keep those images in our memories much more than words. So they might treasure an image, an amazing image of the pool, and they keep it with them when outside it's raining and it's cold and it's ugly. And they just think of that sunny pool, and in the end, that's what brings them back to you. Make sure that this information is very easy to find, and well, what you should remember is to make it easy for them to book you, even making sure that there are no technical issues on the site. So try to make sure that having some audits on the site or making some self-assessment of the health of the site. You won't give any broken pages, broken links, and all the process can work smoothly and extremely well, because losing the trust and the credibility can take small time. So if something does not work, they don't come back, they just close the page and go away and go somewhere else since the competition is so high. So don't lose them just by having a simple mistake that you could have, just an error that you could have avoided by having a test made by somebody else, for example. I think this is it. I hope you appreciate it. Let me know if you have any questions and good bookings. Have a lovely day. See you next week. Bye bye.